Hello there guys, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. And today I'm going to be talking about Colt, Jess and Larissa from 90 Day Fiance. So this is 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, Season 5, Episode 13. Hot tempers and cold feet. If you're new here, welcome to my channel and please consider subscribing. And I also want to give a massive shout out to everyone that's subscribed so far. Thank you so much, I'm nearing 35,000. So if you haven't done so yet, please click that red button and help me get to that milestone. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at Ebird99 and don't forget to like the video. Right, so we've got an awful lot to get through today. So I'm going to be doing a very quick recap of what happened with Colt and Jess and the demise of their relationship this week. And then at the end of the video, what I'm going to do is have a bit of an in-depth chat about the role of Debbie in this whole sorry scenario. And so without further ado, for the final time, I give you Colt and Jessica. So we pick up with this story, and Colt's telling Jess that Vanessa is in the third room. As you remember last week, I wasn't sure there were 3 rooms in this house, I really thought there were only 2. But my subscribers are more eagle-eyed than I, and they're very sure there is a third room. So I guess that's where Vanessa actually is. So Jess asked, does she sleep in your bed? No. Don't lie! Why is she living with you? Doesn't she have any family to stay with? Where's her husband? And then Colt said she's divorced. She's just a friend. We met each other when I was divorcing Larissa and she was divorcing her husband. And Jess said, it's not normal. I wasn't born yesterday. Why have you got other girls living with you? Colt, you're nothing but a liar. You don't love me. You just use me. And Colt said, that's not true. I do love you. Calm down. And Jess said, oh God, I'm a good boy. I'm a good boy. You're always the victim. Stop! And by this point she was shouting at the very top of her voice, stop lying, Colt! Oh Jess, he can't. It's part of both his DNA and his social construct. And all of this shouting brings Debbie to the top of the stairs. What's going on down there? And she tells producers this is just what she always does. She just flies off the handle. I feel sorry for Jess, I really do. But she brought all of this on herself. Debbie, I've just got one question for you, just the one. How? How did she bring this on herself? What is it that Jess has done that has prompted Colt to A. move Vanessa in, B. contact other women on social media behind Jess's back, and C. terrorised all of humanity with his dick pics and videos? What has Jess done to deserve that? That's all I want to know. There's just one question I have for you, and that's it. And sometimes I really can't believe Debbie. Jess brought it all on herself. Did she release Colt's dick from his trousers, film it and upload it? No, she didn't. It's almost as if Debbie's got stock phrases which she says regardless of the situation. And Debbie came downstairs and she sat down and Jess started absolutely sobbing, and I do at this point feel extremely sorry for her. And she said it's too much for me because I love Colt, and she's really snivelling at this point. And guys, I always had my doubts as to if Jess really fancied Colt. I thought she was only in it for the fame or for the green card and for, of course, Colt in his Speedos. But it seems as if she does genuinely like him because she's so upset. And the 3 of them sit there. And then Colt says, I'm not in a relationship with Vanessa. But Jess has had enough of Colt's protestations. She turns her back on him, and Jess said to Debbie, think if you had a boyfriend and his best friend, who's a girl, lives in the house, it's okay for you? And Debbie, in a rare moment of truthfulness, said, no, it wouldn't be. But she returned right back to bullshitting when she said, but I asked Vanessa to live with us. Colt didn't know anything about it. And Jess said, just think about me. Just think about me as a woman. I'm so upset. But at this point, Colt says to Debbie, can you go back upstairs, please, Mum? And I found this quite interesting because Debbie 10 seconds ago was trying to say, yep, I call all the shots. I told Vanessa to come and live here. Colt knew nothing about it. But the moment Colt tells her, go upstairs, please, Mum, in your own home, she gives him a salute and scuttles off doing what she's told. She certainly doesn't act as if she does things behind his back. But Colt realises the gig is up and he says there's no way that I can talk Jess round now. I've lost her for good. And Jessica says, I can't be with you. You just lie all the time. I'll never trust you. I'm so sorry that I ever met you. And then they hug very awkwardly and Colt says, I love you, Jess. I know you don't believe that, but I love you. And Jess said, no, I don't. Colt, I'm so tired. And then she leaves the house and I gotta say she does seem genuinely upset. Outside she tells production, Colt's a trash man. And Colt said, there's no point trying to fix it. Since my divorce I've tried to make myself a better Colt, but I've made it worse. I feel like I don't know who I am anymore. Oh, I can tell you, Colt. I can tell you. So Colt's decided to try and make a better Colt by stopping working, trying to get somebody deported, telling lies to girls and putting on weight. Very interesting methodology there, Colt. And then he slumps down in the sofa and takes a massive shot of brandy. Oh, Colt, it'll take more than alcohol to rid yourself of the knowledge of who you really are. And finally, Colt tells producers, I'm really sorry how it all turned out. I reached out to other women and they reached out to me and I sent them pictures of my dick. Videos of your dick, Colt. Videos of your dick. And that's the last we see of Colt for this week. But then something interesting happens. Larissa's striding in high heels towards a bar, and she said she received a message to meet up with someone. Guess who that's going to be? And when she walks into the bar, there's Jess sitting there drinking half a pint of beer. And Larissa tells us this is a really awkward meeting. It's very complicated to see my ex-husband's new girlfriend. That's not what it is, Larissa. It's your ex-husband's new vexed ex-girlfriend. That's who it is. And TLC treats us to the time when Larissa was phoning Jess telling her he's a demon and a player, in fact a geek player. And when she sits down, Jess tells her straight away, I broke up with Colt. Do you know what? I think he used me to make you jealous. I think he wanted to just go out with a Brazilian girl. And I wish that I'd listened to you when you were telling me that Colt was a trash man. And she said, you know, I want kids and I want to have a family, and he promised me that we'd have kids. And that's quite surprising to me, but now I kind of understand things a little bit more, because I guess he's dangling everything that she wants in front of her. Marriage, kids, green card. So that's possibly why she's so very upset, because it's quite a short relationship from what I can tell. And then Jess told Larissa about the 8 girls that had reached out to her on social media with dick pics. And they chuckle mercilessly at the size of his manhood, and they call him 4-letter words. But then it started to get interesting. Jess tells Larissa about Vanessa, and Larissa's ears pricked up. She said, Vanessa? I know Vanessa. She brought Colt a present from Groupon for Christmas, and it's the Christmas that we were together. And there was a little message saying, I hope this helps to calm you down. And Larissa thinks they might have been together since that time, so right back when Larissa and Colt were together. And Larissa asked Jessica about Debbie, the wolf, and Jess said she was rude. Jess, you were rude to Debbie as well. And Jess said, thank you for opening my eyes. And I think to myself, did she open your eyes? Because although she told you Jess was a massive player and Debbie was a wolf, you still went along with the whole relationship. But then I guess, why would you be expected to listen to your new boyfriend's ex-wife? I guess she could just be being bitter. Jess tells production in Larissa she's found a good person and she has a new friend. Thanks, Colt. And she said she's going to try and get her own visa. Perhaps she'll try and get a student visa. And Larissa tells production that she feels like she's saved Jessica, and she's very glad that Colt is sad and lonely. He deserves everything that happens to him. And I think overall, although I wouldn't say that Larissa necessarily saved Jess, I will say one thing. Jess was not able to be sucked back in, because as soon as Colt did anything wrong and Debbie acted like a freak, Jessica knew, this is just what I was warned about. This was in the post. So yeah, I guess Larissa did do her job. Nevertheless, Colt still managed to kill 2 birds with 20 stone. And that's everything from these guys this week. So first I want to have a quick chat about Colt. He's such a strange character, I really don't know what to make of him. When you're sending videos like this and you know you're famous, you know you're going to be caught. You know if you send dick pics to 8 different people, they will go around. So it seems to me that he wanted the world to see what he was packing. It's very strange. He's basically an exhibitionist and a narcissist. And he proves his narcissism a bit more, because when he told Jess that Vanessa was living there, he was smirking and you can tell he was really enjoying the moment. And for some reason he thinks saying, I love you to girls is going to just bring them around, even though there's incontrovertible evidence to the contrary. You don't love me, Colt, and you haven't done anything thus far to show me that you've loved me right from the word go. He acted up when he went to Chicago. He forced Jessica to come back to the hotel with him. He created screenshots and lied about Vanessa, knowing that it was bound to all come out sooner or later. He took his mum to Brazil with him. He could have told the TLC producers no, but he didn't, of course. He told them yes, because he doesn't care about Jess. He allowed his mum to let Jess know whilst they were still on holiday that Vanessa was looking after the cat. He could have told Debbie, whatever you do not mention it. But no, he allowed her to do it and to upset Jess. And then when they got home, he sent dick pics to 8 different women that we know of. Every single thing that you've done thus far proves that you do not love Jess, so why keep saying it? It's weird. And then let's look at the role of Debbie. So of course Debbie's the worst enabler known to man. She lets Colt get away with murder, and no matter what tricky situation Colt gets into, she's always there to back him up, even when he's wrong. And she's also a massive agitator. So remember back to when Jess was really upset with Colt back in Brazil at the hotel room. She said, oh, should I call the police? I was really worried. I didn't know what to do. I was scared. Jess has done absolutely zero to suggest that the police would ever need to be called. But this is your go-to, isn't it, Debbie? You play on the fact that you're elderly, And the police are bound to think, oh my god, an old woman's scared, she must have threatened her. You'll always be believed over someone like Larissa or Jess. Then of course there's that statement, she brought all of this on herself. And to that, please put in comments if you can think of any way that she brought it on herself. I have just no clue what she's talking about. I would love her to have to qualify her statements. In fact, I think the producers should have made her do so. There's literally no explanation as to how or why. And then there's the question of Colt's behaviour, the photos and the videos. Why is Debbie not more upset? Is it not embarrassing to her with her friends, if she has any, or her family, her sister for instance, that this is what Colt's doing online? Most people will be mortified by his actions, but Debbie doesn't seem to care. Who knows, maybe she reads Colt the Riot Act in private, but it doesn't seem so, because she's always sticking up for him. From gaslighting Jess, gaslighting Larissa, ensuring that Larissa had a criminal record, and also backing Colt up in trying to get her deported. But we discover from Larissa the kickoff occurred because Colt yet again was messaging other women online and paying for porn. It seems to me Debbie has created a monster. I hate it when people blame parents for the actions of children, especially when they're adults, because they're responsible for themselves. But I personally think that Debbie really bolsters Colt and helps Colt to think that he's nowhere near as bad as he actually is in all of his dodgy actions. So guys, please let me know what you think down below. Is Debbie the ultimate enabler? Would Colt be anywhere near as bad if he had a mum that brought him to book on his behaviour? Look at Syngin's parents. Even when Tanya's acting completely out of pocket, Syngin's parents are saying, well, you do need a bit of direction, son, and you do need to put some roots down, and you do need to consider what your wife wants as well. So they're at least trying to be inclusive of Tanya's thoughts and feelings. Debbie could certainly take a leaf out of their book. So guys, that's about everything. I've got a very short special little video coming for you later about Colt, because he's got himself wound up in yet another scandal with Vanessa, Larissa and Jess. So stay tuned for a very short video later this evening, and I'll give you guys the lowdown. Very quickly before I go, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and press the bell notification so that you get my videos immediately. Also follow me on Twitter at Ebird99. You've been listening to Ebird Online. Thank you so much for listening. Ciao for now.